Where evil abounds, courage can be found, so it goes without saying that Master Chief Gordon Freeman and Marcus Phoenix aren't the only tough guys in town. Sometimes our computer-controlled allies like to remind us players that we're not the only ones taking names. Whether they're lending a helping hand or emasculating the protagonist, there can be no denying that these non-playable characters are 100% state-of-the-art awesome. It's time for the top 5 most badass NPCs. Ever since some scientist put his coffee down in the wrong spot and accidentally opened a portal to hell, Mars City has been a pretty stressful work environment. Zombified coworkers are lurking around every corner, and demonic spiders enjoy nothing more than a good old-fashioned ambush. In fact, the only time the Doom guy ever gets to take a break is when he runs into this little guy, the Sentry Bot, a no-glory, no-bullshit, ass-kicking machine. Just flick the on switch and follow the mechanical chirping. The Sentry Bot will do the rest. I'm not sure how you would go about beefing up your corporation's security detail in order to deal with the threat of demonic invasion, but I would guess it would start with buying more Sentry Bots, because unlike the Marines, who seem more likely to become possessed and attack you than actually kill something, the Sentry Bot mows through virtually anything in its path. I just wish the battery life was a bit better, but I suppose that's why it's number 5. Traveling to Central Africa can be a dicey proposition, especially if you have malaria. So if Far Cry 2 teaches us anything, it's that we could all use a little help from our friends. That is, if your friends are a group of battle-hardened mercenaries. Instead of sitting on the sidelines while you face entire armies at a time, the Far Cry gang insists upon getting their hands dirty. They'll pull your ass out of the fire when things get too rough and offer alternate ways to tackle any mission. To name a few, there's Frank, Michelle, Paul, Flora, and of course Josip, who is only a few facelifts shy of a starring role in The Expendables. You rarely interact with all of these characters in one playthrough. In fact, you can finish the entire game and have only worked with 1 or 2 buddies. So losing them can be a bit upsetting. I'll never forget the day that Josip died. He was working as some hired muscle to make sure a Pokemon card trade went over smoothly, but one of the dealers decided to cut his deck with some of those new-aged Pokemon. You know, the ones that no one knows the name of? By the time I got there, I realized the deal had gotten ugly. Josip had been shot and was bleeding out. He was begging for a quick death, but before I could end his pain, he stopped me, looked into my eyes and said, "Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon!" Everybody needs a sidekick, and the Han Solo-esque Grayson Hunt of Bulletstorm is no exception. But unlike the dynamic duos of other action titles, Grayson and his partner Ishii Sato don't like each other very much.
I'm going to kill you, Gray.
This already strained business relationship is made significantly worse by a horrific explosion that leaves Ishii torn limb from limb. And without the right medical equipment present, Ishii is patched up in the sort of way that an old broken-down pickup would be in order to get it to the nearest gas station. Upon regaining consciousness, Ishii tells Grayson,
"Help me, please. The pain."
But being the ultimate badass that he is, Ishii decides to carry on. And despite being a logical and forward-thinking individual, Ishii's painful predicament has him teetering on the edge of rage-induced hysteria pretty much the whole way through. He'll strangle his teammates from time to time and try to kill the player once or twice, but at the end of the day, he's a true pal. And a total badass.
Nice friend.
Used to be. Just trusted the wrong person.
We may not go to Ravenholm, but there's one man who never left to begin with. I am, of course, referring to the ass-kicking Transylvanian holy man, Father Grigori. Ravenholm is no walk in the park for our protagonist, Dr. Gordon Freeman. It's quite literally crawling with freakishly fast zombies and head crabs looking for anything with a pulse to devour and infest. But that hasn't stopped Father Grigori from f***ing living there. He even has the gall to give Gordon some pointers.
In Ravenholm, you do well to be vigilant.
Gordon has an arsenal of weapons to fight the zombie hordes, including a gun that can break the very laws of physics. The preacher, on the other hand, is equipped only with an old over-under shotgun and a serious neckbeard. Unfortunately, being the self-sacrificing man that he is, he insists upon staying behind in one of those cliché, I'll buy you some time moments. I'll be honest, it's pretty probable that he's dead, but it's never really made clear to the player one way or another. And with the buzz of Half-Life 3 right around the corner, we may be meeting the Father all over again, sooner than we think. It's no secret that Sergeant Johnson is one mean motherfucker. Even before Master Chief is pulled from his nap tube and introduced to the player, the good Sergeant graces us with one of his ball-dropping pep talks, guaranteed to put some hair even on the most prepubescent of chests.
Am I right, Marines?
Sir, yes, sir!
Damn right I am. Now move it out. Double time.
Unlike that over-decorated sissy, Captain Keyes, Sergeant Johnson never gets taken prisoner by the Covenant, and never takes any prisoners either. So how did Sergeant Johnson get to be such a spacefaring badass? The answer is simple. You see, his name wasn't always Sergeant Johnson. Earlier in his career, he served aboard the USS Sulaco. Back then, people called him a pwn. He gave the same menacing speeches, chewed the same cigar, and even helped eradicate another entirely different alien race. But all of that pales in comparison to his greatest achievement, surviving the Halo explosion and returning for another tour in Halo 2. That's right, not even an intergalactic superweapon designed to wipe out all life can kill Sarge. But unfortunately for him, this little ball didn't seem to have any issues.